and WHOW programming, just click the Listen Live icon. And if you want to hear one of your favorite WHOW programs when you want to, just click on the Audio On Demand icon. WHOW programming is there when you want it. Just another service from the big 1520 AM and 92.3 FM WHOW.
News time is 9 minutes after 7 o'clock on this Tuesday. Top of the morning from the newsroom of Regional Radio and DeWittDailyNews.com. I'm Seth Lawrence with this expanded local newscast on this Tuesday, brought to you by Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton, your Silverado headquarters. Here's what we have coming up for you in news on this Tuesday. The DeWitt County ETSB board is going to be looking for a new 911 leader and potentially reimagining the post. That story comes up with DeWitt County Board Chair Joe Whitty here coming up this morning. Piatt County first responders will take on the Piatt County Special Olympics Golden Eagles basketball team in a friendly basketball exhibition on Thursday. Also, the Monticello Fire Department is looking for volunteers as our WHOW First Responders Tour continued on Monday at the Monticello Fire Department. Also, cremation is a growing trend that many families are turning to in the country. That story comes up with the Central Cremation Center of Central Illinois in news on this Tuesday. But first, we stream to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Earlier this year, DeWitt County's longtime 911 leader left for a job with the city of Clinton. DeWitt County Board Chair Joe Whitty says not only is the county now trying to find the replacement for Tony Harris, but they're also exploring reimagining that post.
There's a lot going on with public safety and ETSB, really, with figuring out how to fill Tony Harris's spot. You know, again, that's not really public safety so much, but Mr. Ferris is our chair, and he's board representative for ETSB. Also, indirectly, you know, that does impact finance and public safety to a certain extent. So they're working through those issues. I know the land use has, you know, been looking ahead to what we're going to do in 2025. Finance had some things on their agenda that they've been talking through that, you know, weren't quite ready to bring to the full board, but, you know, May later this year. So
according to Whitty, the ETSB board and Sheriff Mike Walker are mostly charged with finding a replacement for Harris. While they want to find a candidate, they also want to find the right candidates.
You know, a lot of that falls under right now Sheriff Walker and really the ETSB. There's board representation on that. You know, Mr. Harris, of course. There's fire protection districts and Clinton Police, and you know the sheriff also part of that board. And then they're taking the lead on that. They're working through that. But yeah, you're right. We don't want to leave that position vacant for long. But at the same time, you want to make sure that you got the right people in place so that we can continue to operate that at a level, you know, similar to what Tony did. So,
sure.
You know, I think they've made some progress. There's been some maybe slight changes in what we were planning on doing originally, but I think they've got a plan. I think they've got a good candidate. Nothing to share at this time, but
like many positions, Harris took on a lot of responsibilities that may not traditionally fall under the purview of a 911 director. Whitty notes it's a challenge many employers face. You have to decide what the successor is going to have in their job description.
One of those things that over the years, that position that Tony held, he took on roles and responsibilities that, you know, every county does things a little bit differently. You know, we didn't have another county that does things exactly like DeWitt. So once he steps out of that position, it's like, okay, what makes sense going forward? You're not going to find somebody who has the same experience that Tony did, handling all the responsibilities that he did. So, you know, it's just a matter of figuring out what is the best way forward for that, for those positions, plural, you know, and they've been working through that. And I know that Tom Harris and Sheriff Walker and others have been keeping the public safety and finance committees apprised as to what they're working through.
Whitty notes the future of the 911 job is just among many things the DeWitt County Board committees are working on right now. While the county board meetings have been a bit slower lately, he anticipates those meetings picking up as some of the committees conclude issues they're focused on. Every year, a local Special Olympics team takes on the Piatt County First Responders in a friendly game of basketball. On the WHOW First Responders Tour Monday, Monticello Fire Department Lieutenant and Monticello High School Athletic Director Dan Sheehan told Regional Radio the event will take place this Thursday at the Seaver Center in Monticello.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. The Golden Eagles, we are the home gym for the Golden Eagles Special Olympics basketball team, and they use our facilities on Wednesday night. And this will be the third annual First Responders of Piatt County versus the Golden Eagles basketball team. So Piatt County First Responders is made up of the Monticello Fire Department, Kirby Medical, Mid-Piatt, Cisco Sheriff's Department, and Monticello Police Department. So it's a great cause to support the Special Olympics. We recommended donation is $10, and you're guaranteed to see some entertainment on the floor. Like I said, the Golden Eagles, we do an annual Golden Eagles versus faculty. Yeah. So Crystal Alexander, who works with the Golden Eagles, kind of brought up the idea when she was working for Kirby that we should do a first responders game. And she asked me, and I talked to the departments, and we had enough volunteers. So it's just a fun way to give back to the community, support them, raise funds to help with their budget.
Chief John Rupke says it's a great opportunity to support the community. Lieutenant Mike Barnes and Captain Adam Kanaki look forward to the camaraderie between the first responders and Golden Eagles. They say it's an event they look forward to each year.
Oh, I just play defense and try to get down the court. And no matter what we do, we always get our butts kicked. I don't know. Yeah, they're pretty good. It is so much fun because you're just smiling the whole time and having a great time. So if you get a chance to go down there, it's an awesome event.
The first time I played, I hit a couple threes, which was pretty nice. But it's been a while, so I don't know if I'll be able to hit it this year. So we'll see though. Just the camaraderie, one's between all the other first responders that we see sometimes, not necessarily daily, but hopefully when we see them out on a call. One, that's a great time to hang out and get that camaraderie. Two is just to see the smile on everyone's face, just really pushing this event, making sure everyone has a good time.
I like to think of myself as Steph Curry, but I just can't hit the shots. I'll try to stay outside and shoot, but I can't make them. Like Mike said and Chief said, it's just so much fun being out there, being with the kids, watching them get excited. We're getting excited, and somehow, they always win every year. They're pretty good, so it's fun.
Head to the Seaver Center this Thursday at 6:30 again to see the Piatt County First Responders take on the Golden Eagles in an exhibition basketball game and support their programming. The Monticello Fire Department is actively recruiting new volunteers on the WHOW First Responders Road Tour Monday. Lieutenant Mike Barnes told Regional Radio it can be very difficult to find people who are willing to become a firefighter.
Nowadays, it's really tough finding volunteers. People are just busy. Back in the day, it was a lot easier. So we post on Facebook. If you are interested, you can go to citymonticello.net, go through the list, go to Fire and Rescue Department, and click on how to become. You can do it online, which is most people fill out online. You can go old school and go into the city building and fill out an application. But again, we're looking for people who, maybe just moved to town. One of our members, Dennis, every time he gives out a U-Haul, he's always asking, hey, you want to join the department? However you can reach somebody, even at the grocery store, maybe someone sees you in your shirt and they have a question. I'm always willing to talk to people and just kind of get their interest. Because, again, volunteers are greatly needed throughout all the departments in the county. But basically, I can tell you how we start. So an application comes in, and I'm on the hiring committee, so we review that. We'll give them a call. We'll have them sit down before a three-board panel. Pretty casual, no suit and tie. Just come on in. We'll get you interviewed. We'll see if you're a good fit. Then we'll vote yes or no. We'll turn you over to the city. The city council will then make a vote. We'll get you on board. And once that happens, then you're stuck with me again for a little bit. So I'll take on all the new recruits. So we do trainings the first 3 Thursdays of the month. So what I'll do is on the 4th Thursday, I'll bring those new recruits. That way they don't have as many eyes on you. Yeah. It's always nervous the first time you're trying to learn something. So I'll bring them on, and I'll do some extra trainings throughout that first year with them, try and get them up to snuff, get them, sped up as quickly as possible so they can be up with everyone else.
Once a recruit is onboarded, there is a training process they must go through. Captain Adam Kanaki indicates they do everything they can to support recruits through that process, and much of it is done on the job.
Here at Monticello, we have a training task book, and what we've done is break up your year into different segments because there are a lot of training topics that we go over, and there's a lot of needs that or training that you need throughout the year. So we'll break it up throughout the year, whether it's certifications or licensures. It's like getting your EMR, emergency first responder, Class B non-CDL driver's license, as well as stuff all throughout the station with, getting competent in the stuff on the trucks, how to use the stuff. Because when someone calls us and we go to their house, like they expect something. So It's a lot of responsibility on yourself to know the equipment and what to do when you get there. So we'll have a general training with general members that they'll be a part of, but then there's also extra training that recruits will go through to get that extra help. And throughout the process, it's not rigorous. It's low key, it's easy. If you're struggling with something, like we'll just go over it time and time again, because with us, you're not using it daily. Getting that competency with it takes time throughout months. So just stay with it, practice it, and you'll get the hang of it. So when you first start, you're able to go on calls, but you're kind of like the gopher, getting stuff back from the truck or whatever, from the EMS bag, stuff like that. So you're mainly watching how senior guys are interacting with the patients. If it's a medical call, like questions they're asking, what they're doing, getting their baseline vitals, stuff like that. Or if we're going on a fire alarm or a fire, like you listen to like the way the radio traffic happens, how people are saying things, and then you just pick that stuff up as you go throughout the calls you go on.
When searching for new recruits, Lieutenant Barnes explains they look for people who want to give back to the community. Chief John Rupke adds the relationships you build with your fellow firefighters are ones that last.
So one big thing is the urge to give back, because we're not being rich here. We're just giving back to the community. Every time that 911 bell goes off, it's usually someone's worst day, and we're there for that. So we just want to help, and it could be from anything from fire, it could be just a simple lift assist. But we got to be there. So we're looking for somebody who wants to give back, somebody with that kindness, that generosity to give, but then someone also that wants to learn, because there's so much to learn in the fire service. So just someone that always wants to show up to training, give their best, keep learning, get better. It's a great feeling helping people. There's not much else in life that gives you that joy, really, to see that you've helped somebody. But if you've got the time, and time is a huge commitment, because we've run so many calls, so time's a big thing. But if you really want to give back and you really want to see someone and cheer them up, or just help them out on that rough day, fill out an application, talk to us.
One of the big things about the fire department is the camaraderie amongst all the guys and the gals here. It's like a family, and when something goes wrong, we're always there to help each other out. I've seen where one firefighter was down, sick or whatever, and another couple firefighters went over and shoveled his driveway. We help each other out with family matters, things like that. So that's what I look for, and I've been doing it 30-something years too. Yeah. I just want to give one shout out, and Michael had mentioned Dennis, and that's Dennis Siebens. And Dennis Siebens has been on the fire department for 44 years, and he's seen everything. And talk about a man who's given back to the community. And so I wanted to mention Dennis before we passed it on.
If you live in Piatt County and want to become a volunteer firefighter, visit cityofmonticello.net or stop by the fire station located at 12 Raymond Road in Monticello. When a loved one passes, more and more people are turning to cremation. Cremation has exponentially grown as an option for folks in Central Illinois. Cremation has exponentially grown as people are turning to, and Central Cremation Center CEO Tom Cantwell indicates in just 3 years in Central Illinois, their business has grown with that trend.
Yeah, so in 2010, 2012, cremation rate nationally was only about 20%. Now it sits at about 65, 70%. Here in the United States, but that's also the same percentage in Illinois as well. There's certain states like Maine where the cremation rate is 85%, and the lowest rate in any state in the U.S. is Mississippi, because you're kind of in the Bible Belt there, and it's 55%.
Right,
so
right.
Every state is over 50% at this point.
Wow. They
project that, by 2030, the cremation rate nationally, as well as in Illinois, will be 80%.
Oh, wow.
Wow. So, and I absolutely see that on the rise. The reason for that is the cost is so much less. But the second biggest reason is that families are spread out more so now than ever before, really. Kids, grandkids are all over the place. So cremation gives people an opportunity to memorialize, to honor their loved one when it's best for everybody, rather than a traditional funeral where you got to get kids out of school, you got to take time off work, you got to fly in, drive in, whatever it is. That's the second biggest reason. But yeah, so the cremation rate is just on a dramatic rise, and it's never going to go the other way.
Cantwell indicates the explosion of cremation as an option for families has seen their business not only grow in volume, but its reach. He calls it a blessing to be able to serve.
Here at Monticello, we have a training task.
You know, this time of year, for whatever reason, there's always just a lot more passings occur in this time of year. In our industry, you can't really, obviously, measure anything. Things just happen. There's no quantitative data for us to look at really and say, oh, this is going to be a busy month. Although this time of year, though, you kind of know that it's going to be a little bit busier. So, since December, we had 60 people that were in our care. We had 50 in the month of January. This month, we're already at 21 or 22 for February, and here we are in the 11th. So we're very blessed to be able to serve a lot of people. But, we've already served, this year, we're pushing 100 at this point, and we're already about 150 since December 1. And in 2024, we had 500, close to 500 individuals that we cared for. Again, we're very blessed to be in the position that we're in, to help out so many people and to do it in a cost-effective way. To where they don't have to take out loans and break the bank and so on and so forth.
Last year, Central Cremation Center has seen business expand in Central Illinois and even beyond. Cantwell says for a little building that sits off Business 51 in Forsyth, they do a lot in that little space.
We're not like your traditional brick and mortar funeral home to where you kind of serve that county that you're in, that community that you're in, and then, a little bit outside of that, So when we got going, I said, well, we're going to be on the road a lot. And that's okay, but that comes with all the hospice groups that we serve, because they serve broad areas as well. And as we kind of got going, it went from 5, 6, 7, 8 counties to 15 to 20 to 25 and beyond. And I said, well, that's fine. We can do that. We have partners around that we can work with if need be. It just, all of a sudden you kind of look at the map and you're like, man, we've served 25, 30, 35, 40 counties at this point. We've served almost half of Illinois. We've also gone into St. Louis. We've gone into Indiana. And we've gone actually up to Chicagoland. Don't really want to do that a whole lot, but we will if the need arises. So we're just there for them wherever the situation is, wherever the problem is, or wherever the passing occurs, or whatever it is. We will work with the family, and we're going to figure out the best way to honor their loved one. Everything happens in Forsyth, oddly enough. And when we talk with people, they are shocked at not only the area that we cover and that we have served, but all that we do, not only just with human, but with pet cremation, with anatomical gift, body donation, that sort of thing for science. So there's a lot that goes on in our building, a lot that goes on there, and people don't really realize it. Yeah, like I said, we're very, very blessed and in a great position to keep growing and keep moving.
Last year, Central Cremation Center introduced pet cremations, and Cantwell says that portion of their business has also grown very quickly. We'll have more on that with him coming up soon on regional radio. In the meantime, learn more about Central Cremation Center by calling 217-859-8100 or visit centralcremationcenter.com. 27 minutes after the hour, we'll wrap things up coming up on the morning show.
It's time to celebrate winter. This is Scott Baum from Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton and Farmer City. Yes, we have extra savings on all new Chevrolets this month to celebrate the winter season. See our inventory of Chevrolet Trailblazers, Blazers, and the all-new Chevy Trax. We also have a larger, redesigned 7-passenger Traverse and a good selection of 24 and 25 Tahoes. See our winter celebration savings at BaumChevyBuick.com. Right from the start.
News time, 27 minutes after 7 o'clock on this Tuesday. Again, I'm Seth Lawrence with you folks today for this expanded local newscast. Illinois Agriculture Leaders of Tomorrow, or ALOT, is a program for the Illinois Farm Bureau. Kayla Beagle is participating this year. She is a member of the Cook County Farm Bureau.
Yeah, so I'm a second-generation herb and vegetable farmer in Chicago Heights, so on the south side of Chicago. And yeah, Chicago usually or Cook County usually equals Chicago, but there is farms, and we're really active in the community and we do sell a lot in Chicago to try to help with that food desert. I am the second generation. My parents are first generation farmers. Yeah, so we grow about 50 different herbs and probably 50 different vegetables that we start in a greenhouse, process them there, and then sell them at farmers markets in Chicago. I have a brother that does the grain division and a brother that does fresh flowers, and we're kind of all in our own little bubbles that come together to make Smith's Farms kind of grow and tick. And so it's a family operation, and this will be our 33rd year in business, and we're really proud of all the work we've done.
Beagle attended last week's Illinois Farm Bureau Governmental Affairs Leadership Conference in Springfield. Time now for a look at this morning's obituaries. 82-year-old Tom L. Spencer of Clinton passed away February 20th at Carle Foundation Hospital in Urbana. Services for 82-year-old Thomas L. Spencer will be Wednesday at Calvert Funeral Home in Clinton, with Daryl Howard officiating. Burial will follow at Oak Park Cemetery with military honors. Visitation is 5 to 7 p.m. this evening at Calvert Funeral Home in Clinton. In lieu of flowers, memorials can be directed to the Tom Spencer Memorial Fund in care of Karen Woolridge. News brought to you by Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton, your Silverado headquarters. We stream to Facebook and YouTube. Brought to you by Peterson Insurance. Network News is next. A look at local sports after that.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason. Federal workers being given one more chance to comply with a workplace accountability mandate issued by Doe's chief Elon Musk. Tell us what you've done in the past week or face the possibility of being fired. President Trump says his tariffs on Canada and Mexico will take effect next month after being put on hold for a while. Mr. Trump contends our trading partners have been taking advantage of the U.S., says it's time to level the playing field. Cleaning house at the Pentagon. The military's top lawyers have been handed their walking papers, the direction of Defense Secretary Hegseth. When it comes to prospects for ending the Russian war in Ukraine, French President Macron describes President Trump as a game changer. He spoke following a meeting yesterday at the White House with Mr. Trump. Watching Wall Street, the Dow futures are up 67 points. NASDAQ futures 3 points higher. More details at srnnews.com.
2496.
With SRN Sports, I'm George Williams. A couple of exciting finishes in NBA action last night. First, in overtime, it was the Timberwolves coming from behind to defeat the Thunder 131 to 128. And then the Trailblazers defeated the Jazz by 2 points, 114 to 112. The Kings down the Hornets. It was the Pistons over the Clippers. Nuggets defeated the Pacers. It was the Bulls romping past the 76ers. Wizards down the Nets. And it was the Hawks victors against the Heat. NCAA Top 25 college basketball. 2 games. You had number 4 Houston defeating number 10 Texas Tech, and by only 3 points, 15th ranked Michigan down to Nebraska. And in NHL play, there were 2 games on the ice. First, the Sharks shut the Jets out. 1-0 was the score there. And then in the other game, you had the Kings defeating the Las Vegas Golden Knights 5-2. This is SRN Sports. The rankings for NCAA men's top 25 college basketball are out. The top 5 are Auburn at number 1, Duke at number 2, Florida is number 3, Houston number 4, and Tennessee is ranked 5. Then Alabama, St. John's, Michigan State, Iowa State, and Texas Tech round out the top 10. The NFL's owner meeting will be next month, and there's already a push to change some of the rules, including the tush push and the rules that govern the kickoffs. As for the tush push, word that the Packers may be challenging that rule, saying the play creates an injury risk and that it relies more on force than skill to advance the ball. And then the new kickoff, the league says that this past year was a measurable success in terms of reduction of injury and the increase in percent of times the ball was returned. But the new rule doesn't have the surprise of the onside kick, so they'll look at that. And Cleveland baseball fans mourning the passing of their owner, Lawrence Dolan, at the age of 94. This is SRN Sports.
Time now for a look at sports. I'm Seth Lawrence with this report. In a game heard on WHOW and all our digital platforms, Clinton beat DMAC 61-55. Monday night in regional Class 2A regional quarterfinal action from Clinton High School. The Maroons were led by the serve pro of Piatt-DeWitt County's player of the game, Colton Walker's 21 points, 13 coming in the fourth quarter, along with a clutch blocked corner 3 attempt in the final seconds. Keaton Graves pitched in with 19 points, and Dalton Bell had 17. The Chiefs were led by 6'5" center Jerry Hans, 17 points, and Con Gilbert had 14. With the win, the Maroons are 17-14 on the year. They'll advance to the regional semifinal, where they'll play Peoria Manual Wednesday in Tremont. Tip-off is 5:30 p.m. Hear the action on WHOW and all its digital platforms. Mitch Williams scored 15 of his game-high 22 points in the first half, and Maroa-Forsyth used a big start to roll past Meridian 65-43 in high school boys basketball Class 2A regional quarterfinal action Monday in Maroa. Williams and Cabrin Lee scored 8 first-quarter points apiece to propel the Trojans to a 23-7 first-quarter lead and a 42-19 halftime advantage, thanks to 7 more from Williams in the second quarter. Lee finished with 12 for the game. Brady Doss added 12 points, and Kenny Morris scored 8. The Trojans are 14-14 overall. They will take on St. Joseph Ogden from the Meridian Regional Wednesday night at 6 p.m. Argenta-Oreana escaped a 3-win Decatur St. Teresa team 60-58 in Class 1A high school boys basketball regional quarterfinal action Monday night in Argenta. MJ Hall had a game-high 26 points to lead the Bombers. Carter Logue chipped in with 10 points. Brett Cleary led St. T with 16, while Eli Etchison scored 11 points. Tommy Herman had 10 for the Bulldogs. St. T finishes its season 3-27 overall. Argenta-Oreana is 17-13 and will take on Mount Pulaski Wednesday night in Mount Pulaski. The Hilltoppers defeated Blue Ridge on Monday. Class 1A regional quarterfinal action from Monday. It was Arcola over Beecher City, 60-29. Bethany Okaw Valley edged Central A&M 54-52. Salt Fork blasted D-Land Weldon, 87-10. Decatur Unity Christian escaped Cerro Gordo, 48-43. Danville Schlarman down Champaign St. Thomas More, 68-63. Fisher took care of Champaign Judah Christian, 66-50. It was GCMS 87, Donovan 60. Hayworth topped Ridgeview 60-42. Leroy toppled Normal Calvary Christian Academy 61-24. Illini Central rolled Astoria 69-39. Tuscola toppled Villa Grove 74-29. Class 2A regional quarterfinal action from Monday. BCC down Eureka 63-59. Prairie Central topped Herscher 51-46. It was 50 in Oakwood over Sullivan 72-60. Normal U-High rolled IVC 71-44. Peoria Notre Dame toppled Olympia 67-49. Shelbyville edged Pana 50-44. Westville got by Arthur Lovington Atwood Hammond 62-53. In Class 3A regional quarterfinal action from Monday, it was Limestone 49, Washington 38. Danville rolled Bloomington 65-42. Springfield Sacred Heart Griffin beat Jacksonville 73-57, and Urbana beat Rantoul 74-68. Josh Giddey had 25 points, 16 rebounds, and 6 assists as the Chicago Bulls ended a 6-game skid by routing the Philadelphia 76ers 142-110 Monday night. Kevin Herter had 23 points, Zach Collins added 19, and Matas Buzelis had 17 as the Bulls led by as many as 50 in the fourth quarter and sent Philly to its 8th straight loss. The Bulls entered having lost 11 of its last 15. They hold the 10th play and final play-in tournament spot in the Eastern Conference. Philadelphia is in 12th place, 2.5 games back. Paul George and Kelly Oubre Jr. each had 19, and Tyrese Maxey scored 13 points as Philly lost for the 10th time in its last 11 games. The Bulls posted season highs for first-half points in a game. They did it with Lonzo Ball, who scored 6 in 8 minutes, having to leave with a head laceration. Forward Nikola Vucevic was a late scratch with left calf tightness. Get sports anytime at DeWittDailyNews.com.
This is staff meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with your regional radio forecast. Mainly sunny skies today with daytime highs approaching 57. Northwest winds 8 to 15 miles per hour. Lows dip down to about 37. Tonight, cloudy skies expected. Cloudy skies expected tomorrow.